Okay, we'll get started. Good afternoon. I am Seneca County Sheriff Timothy Thompson. I want to thank everyone for being here today. We understand the significance of this tragedy and the importance of providing this community with answers. At this time, we are going to provide you with the events of yesterday and do our best to answer any questions that you may have. On January 21st, 2025, at about 5:46 p.m., the Seneca County 911 Center received a call of an apartment fire above the Big M in the village of Ovid. Seneca County Sheriff's deputies were dispatched along with the fire departments and EMS. Upon the arrival of our sheriff's deputies, they immediately began checking the apartments to ensure that nobody was trapped inside. Thankfully, it was confirmed that everyone was accounted for. As we all know, the fire spread quickly and has resulted in devastating loss. We have worked cooperatively with the fire department since the onset of this event and have partnered with the Ovid Fire Department to determine a cause of this tragic fire. Our investigators interviewed several people involved, and the origin has been isolated to a charging device and an electrical outlet. The resident of the apartment reported that she plugged in the charging device and noticed that it was smoking a few hours later after returning to the apartment. She then gathered her children and fled the apartment. Although this fire was horrific, I am happy to report that there were only minor injuries involved. Sadly, we have had 15 to 20 people displaced from the homes, and the American Red Cross was on site last evening to provide services. We have also seen a huge response in donations and gifts to get people through these difficult times. To those that lost their homes, businesses, and jobs, the men and women of the Seneca County Sheriff's Office stand with you. Our thoughts are with you, and we are very sorry for your losses. To the fire departments and first responders, your bravery and dedication to duty are beyond words. You fought through everything for your neighbors. You should be very proud of yourselves. Our public safety partnerships are amazing in this county, and this is a testament to that. And lastly, to the community, as sad as this day is, there's only one word that comes to my mind, and that's community. Community is what we are, and that's what will get the victims and Ovid through this tragedy. We are a great county, and I am moved by the immediate outpouring of support for all those in need. It is truly a team effort. That's the prepared statement that I wanted to give to you today. We are certainly here to answer any questions. I'd like to just introduce a few folks up here with me. I have all their names, so we'll give that to you after. Lieutenant Jeffrey Stoyer from the Sheriff's Office, Lieutenant Michael Strom from the Sheriff's Office, Fire Chief Timothy Westlake, Ovid Town Supervisor Joe Borst, Ovid Village Mayor Aaron Roizen, and Chief Deputy Richard Reed. So with that, we will take some questions. We'd like to keep this as orderly as possible, so we could start down here if there's any questions on the far left and just work our way through. Okay.
Definitely, I know it was very, very cold. How was that a challenge to fighting this fire?
Step aside, Chief, if you want to step right up here.
First off, I'd like to apologize for my appearance. We've had 3 working structure fires in less than 24 hours, 2 within our district, 1 that I cleared from, and that's what held up this press conference. Unfortunately, the historic fire that we have had on Main Street in the last 24 hours is very devastating to this community. We dealt with multiple challenges. We dealt with water supply issues. We dealt with the freezing cold temperatures, icing up of equipment, icing up of personnel. We had multiple departments. It will take quite a while for me to accumulate all of the exact information. Every adjoining county and then some sent personnel, apparatus, water supply, and with all those challenges, on top of it, the building construction itself posed great challenges. The age of the structures, their design, it all added to the fire spread. Then you throw in the winds on top of that, and that's why we ended up where we ended up. The good part about it is, one firefighter, minor altercation with a slight asthma attack, was checked by EMS, cleared. One firefighter had gloves frozen to their fingers, checked by EMS, and cleared. One firefighter had their shirt frozen to their chest from sweat. Obviously, the hose lines and stuff, checked by EMS, and cleared. So we had no injuries. We had no fatalities. For a fire this size, and for as busy as that whole strip usually is, with a diner, the Italian kitchen, the laundromat, and the Ovid Big M, plus all the apartments above all of those locations. We're very, very fortunate. And that's a testament to pre-planning for incidents like this to take place and how we react to them. The personnel on scene doing an outstanding job of clearing all the buildings, getting people out, keeping people out. That's why we ended up the way we ended up. We lost property, material goods. That's it.
How long were the firefighters actually out there?
We were out there for over 9 hours. We did have multiple warming areas that we could go into. The other local businesses in the area opened their doors all night long, gave us places to go with heat and everything else until we cut the power because we had no choice. But we had warming areas. We had the school district brought a couple buses down to keep people warm. We had people bust up to the school to warm up, dry out, come back out, freeze again. Real testament to the willpower of firefighters and EMS and our fellow first responders and law enforcement.
And how long was the fire actually burning?
The entire time. The entire time. It's still burning now.
I heard from one of the bystanders, I think it was the owner of the Italian restaurant there.
Okay.
And he had brought some folks into his restaurant who lived upstairs. They didn't think the fire was going to even reach his restaurant, which obviously
Correct.
it did.
Yep.
He thought it was because of the water freezing that things got harder to manage.
It was a combination of many things. The main structure that the Ovid Big M and the apartments above where the fire originated, that entire building has a common attic. So the attic that is above one is wide open above all of them, which aided in quick fire spread. You add in the winds, you add in the difficulty of being able to get access from the main street side with all the power wires, phone wires, cable wires that go down through there. And then on the back side, it's a long reach. Those were all very deep buildings there. And then the fire load itself. So when you add a grocery store with 6 apartments plus above it, it's a large fire load. So once it got to above the diner, we had a 22.5-foot alley between the diner and the next building. We fought diligently for well over an hour, keeping it at bay. And then we ran into water supply issues.
So just following up on that, how fast was that water freezing and really causing an issue?
Instantly. The mist from the water lines, as soon as it would hit our gear, the equipment, it would freeze instantly. We had several trucks that were freezing up, tankers that could not open their valves to refill or to dump, and then they're out of service. We have to try to find a place to thaw them out, get another one coming, and within 10 minutes we had over 30 water supply apparatus coming to the fire. So at one point, our next tanker to replace one that froze up was coming from 45 minutes away.
I know you said that you guys have had several fires within the last 24 hours. How does this affect your crew and first responders?
I could tell you the morale is amazing. If the tones go out, the same 200 we had last night, we would have again right now. The camaraderie within the fire service, the EMS, law enforcement, they'll keep going. They'll do what they have to do to serve the community.
You're getting an applause here for all your hard work. I mean, and a lot of these people lost such an important part of their community, and they're still so thankful for everything that you and your fellow firefighters and EMS people have done. I mean, that must be something that feels
very blessed to be surrounded by very good people. Very good people make my job a lot easier.
Can I ask you, was this a cell phone? You said it was an electrical charger.
To our understanding, it was a power source charging device. So you plug it in, you charge the unit up, you can take it with you camping, things like that. It can recharge your phone, possibly power a television to watch movies and stuff while you're camping 3-4 days to a week. So it's like a power source, a portable power source.
You mentioned the building.
Mhm.
Were there other issues with the building other than the fact that you had this large open attic?
Not really. These buildings were built in the 1800s. So most of them are 1850 to 1880.
Can you talk about the health concerns for residents in the area?
I mean, one of the biggest concerns we had was the amount of water that we used. We depleted the water system. They had to close the school today. We took the water tower, municipal water supply, to a critical level where we had to shut down, stop using any hydrants, stop using water from the tower, and that's where we went into the tanker issues. But when it's that cold, things freeze up.
Did that hinder your efforts with the
Absolutely.
other two fires today?
Absolutely. The other two fires, the one where we went mutual aid to Trumansburg, was a great distance out. Nearly a 15-minute drive for the Ovid Fire Department to get to. And in that situation, I can't speak for the Trumansburg Fire Department, but when we got there, it was well involved. The other fire in Willard that I just came from was out of nowhere. Shocking surprise. It's been deemed undetermined what caused the fire. The individual was out walking his dog, came back to the house pushing smoke and flames. So it was a shock to him, it was a shock to us, but unrelated to the fire that we had on Main Street.
Can you talk about, I know the library posted a comment on your Facebook thanking you for saving their building from, I think it was embers that were going to their roof. I also know that the barber shop was next door and that it does have some damage, but were you able to save these buildings?
So the old barber shop with the apartments was not quite a detached structure, but there was a good gap between that and the other structures. It was also on the west side of these other structures that were burning, and we had a strong west wind. So the wind was coming out of the west, which aided us in keeping the fire away from that building. Also what aided us was the firewall that was between the Italian kitchen and the building that had the laundromat and the step services in it. That firewall held while we were fighting the fire for nearly 3 hours before fire breached into the Italian kitchen. But once it got to the Italian kitchen, most of the rest of the fire was burned down. We got excavators in there. We were able to pull things apart, get more penetration with the water, and get it under control.
And what about the library?
So with the wind and the amount of fire load that we had a lot of debris that was floating across. It was setting trees on fire in the park. We were concerned for the 3 bears. We had embers landing on the library roof. We established water supply to 2 vehicles up there, and we put a team up on the roof of the library, put out the embers, and then we just left them up there in that freezing cold because the embers came for hours.
How long until power?
That I do not know. I can tell you the utility companies were there working last night. All of them are there working diligently today. They've been cooperating with us. They've been great to work with. They want to get their customers back up and running.
Going back to that device, was it plugged in? Were there blankets over it or something like that? How
To
did
our
it
understanding,
cause
she
fire?
plugged the device in, or someone plugged the device in, around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And they didn't have any issues with it until she stated that it apparently was smoking just before she evacuated the premises.
So do you think potentially it's a problem with the device itself, or?
Unknown, and there's nothing left that we can make a determination from.
You know, people are watching this from across the state today. Is there someone here who can explain the importance of, you know, the big N and that little area there, that the businesses, if yourself or anybody here, the significance of that area and the businesses there, and how important it is to the community
I can turn the floor over to either the mayor or town supervisor.
Yeah, thank you. So the significance of that block of our community, it's really the heart that that we really have. It's what so many people rely on day to day. It services hundreds, if not thousands, of people in the area. I mean, the Big M was the original Ford dealership in the village 100 years ago, and you know, with its loss, with the Italian kitchen, with the laundromat. I mean, these are significant points that our community really looks for guidance and for community. And what we're hearing people say today, you know, we have meetings at the Big M, we have meetings at the Italian kitchen. You know, they're social hubs, and when those places go away, it takes a lot to reestablish that. And it won't ever be the same. It'll be different, but we'll move through it. Ovid always does. It happened 11 years ago. We rebuilt. We changed who we were, but yeah, it's a big blow to the community.
How much longer is it expected to be kind of an active scene with firefighters and utility workers and people digging through the debris?
So at this time, we've had ongoing operations dealing with hot spots and the debris piles from all of the structures. We're using excavators, water supply still in this changing environment of lovely weather that we have. We've been constantly rotating the crews out through members throughout our community again, throughout our county. Some agencies from adjoining counties have been assisting us. We've been offered assistance from farther away if we need it. But we have to finish putting the fire out before we can even discuss how do we get rid of this. So that could take today. That could take the next 3 days. There's a lot of debris there. Once the fire is taken care of, I'm imagining somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 days to a week, during which time we have to keep that main street closed. And that's a state highway. So there is a point of, let's hurry up and get this done.
I have a question. I'm Ron, the owner of the Italian Kitchen in my lifetime. Is there any help coming from the state when it comes to the affected people, lost jobs, lost?
So we have a huge outpour from the community that is assisting. We have not been able to at any time so far, because it's such a short window that we've been in, and because of the other things that have been going on, to have any outreach, to make contact points, to get in touch with people, to see what we can do to help this community. And then there, when we do, that's something that also takes
My
time.
biggest concern is that people displaced. We don't have parties to find apartments around the area,
Yes,
and also people who lost their jobs.
yes,
At least 6 people who lost their jobs.
yeah. Yes, sir.
Just a couple follow-up. The outpouring from this community was, it's hard to put it in words on how many organizations came out to help last night and came out to help today. I want to commend the Seneca County 911 Center for their work last night to organize and keep this, keep it with all the fire departments involved, to just keep things remotely organized is a feat. We had an outpouring from the United Way of Seneca County. New York State Department of Transportation was on site. Seneca County Highway Department, the South Seneca Central School District opened their doors last night. Sessler Construction also came and assisted with the demolition of the site to make it safe. And I know that I'm forgetting many other organizations, but those, just to name a few, on what it looked like last night and how many organizations came together for the common goal. So on behalf of the Sheriff's Office and the first responders, I just want to thank those organizations. With that, if there's any other questions, we'll take them. If not,
I just want to say thank you to all of you guys. Yeah.
Kind of piggyback off of what our Italian restaurant owner was saying before, for people who are displaced or who may need help, what are some resources that they can reach out to right now if they need to seek that help?
Sure, the American Red Cross would be our primary point of contact at this point. And as this continues to evolve, there may be other alternatives put in place. But right now, that's our primary.
And what about, I know the fire department said on their Facebook that they would put more information in about resources for people, and there's been, it looks like maybe donation drives and things like that. Is there, I know sometimes in the wake of tragedies, sometimes there's people that claim to be doing things and aren't. Is there any suggestion of a place to go for the donations or resources? I know there was a grocery store open. Any suggestions like that?
The one that's popping up in my mind right away is the United Way of Seneca County is active on their Facebook right now, seeking donations, and I have seen other fire departments doing some quick monetary drives. Like I said, as this continues to evolve, I think more resources will be put out there, and we're less than 24 hours from when this happened.
Just confirm the total number of businesses
I think the number 6 was
Six businesses.
and how many apartments?
3, 4, 5, 11.
Do you have the total list of businesses?
we can get that at the conclusion.
Yep. I can get a copy of everybody.
Any other questions? All right. Thank you very much. And before everybody leaves today, we'll get you names of everyone, the prepared statement, and then I also have a statement from the families of the owners of the Big M, both the building and the business itself. I have that to give you today. So thank you very much.